guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first of my intros for my panning products for 2022. So I thought it would only be fair for me to intro my main project for this year first, and this is going to be a little bit different to my other panning project in the past because technically I'm not focused on hitting pan. Bear with me, please don't click off the video, it's still within that realm, but I want to do a 1 week 1 palette with all of my palettes this year. I've seen a lot of people do this on Instagram, but I thought it would be fun to kind of move it over to YouTube as well. I currently have 48 palettes in my collection and I'm going to be randomly picking one of those for each week of the month. So at the start of the month, I'm going to film an update like this, and in future updates, I'll be talking about the last 4 palettes that I generated for the month before. I'll be talking about which shades I used, how much I used them, what I thought, and kind of showing any progress in the palette. But for this update, I'm just going to be randomly selecting the first 4 palettes for the month. So I'm going to do this once every 4 weeks, and then obviously that will be at the end of every following video as well for the next 4 weeks. So I'm going to be randomly generating any one of my palettes between kind of the numbers 1 and 43, just because I'm not going to be including my 2 pan that palettes, and I'm going to be including my singles as one kind of collection rather than the different singles palettes that I have. So yeah, I don't think I need to do that much more explaining in this video because I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The reason I want to do this is because last year I really enjoyed doing my pan those eyeshadows. I'm doing it again this year, but what I found was that I was kind of focusing in on individual shades, and if a palette wasn't rolled into my pan those eyeshadows at all, I would barely use it. So I thought I would rather get a reasonable amount of use on everything in my collection rather than loads of use on like one little thing, one little shade, stuff like that. So without further ado, I think I'm just going to start randomly generating the palettes. I will be removing the palettes from my kind of list as the year goes on because I don't want to repeat palettes, and I have enough palettes in here to last me for almost a full year basically, and probably by the end of the year I will have brought in more palettes. I would just mention there are some points in the year where I'm kind of going to be traveling for a month or so, there may not be enough weeks for all the palettes, or etc etc. I might be not using some, blah 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 basically. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into it and start randomly generating numbers. So I've got from 1 through to 42, and I'm just going to generate one. So this is going to be for the first week of the year. We have number 30, which is probably a reasonably newer palette. Okay, that is my Beauty Bay Sunset Horizons palette. So let me pull that out. So this is the Beauty Bay Sunset Horizons palette. I really like Beauty Bay's formula, so I'm really happy to have rolled that one in. This is what the palette looks like, so definitely very nice and very colourful and fun. As you can see, we have 2 pans in here already. So I hit pan in, oh, just dug my finger into the black, ignore that. So I hit pan in Moonlit in my pan those eyeshadows, and then I hit pan in Shell just in my own time using it as a base setting shade. I've now got black all over my finger. Anyway, I'm really excited to pull this in. I definitely think I can do some kind of more neutral stuff with the yellows. I see yellow as a neutral colour, but then I've also got kind of the oranges and the pinks and blues, and I definitely haven't dug into this palette besides quite literally digging it into it just now. I haven't played around with this palette as much as I'd like to, and I definitely think it'll be fun to experiment with different shades. This is kind of like a slightly more unique take on a rainbow, so I'm really excited to have pulled that one in. So that's going to be for our first week. Then for week number 2, oh actually I will remove that, I'll make a note of it, and I will remove that from my list so that I don't roll it in again. So now we're going from 1 to 41 because obviously we picked a palette, and we've got number 3. Oh, that's gonna be an old one. So number 3 is actually my singles. So I have 2 palettes for singles. I have one that I keep in my everyday makeup drawer because I like to put things from projects in there. So I have this in here now with a highlighter that is for a project I've already filmed the intro for but you haven't seen, so pretend we didn't see that. It's just got like a black, my eyebrow shade, a bunch of different stuff. That's kind of like an everyday singles. And then I have this lot here of singles here. So I have some depotted Morphe shades here. These, I think some of those are from a like Steve Laurent palette. Then I've got these bigger ones from my Lorac Peach Fizz palette, I believe, and this one here is Ivy from the Beauty Bay X Nikki Tutorials palette. So yeah, that will be fun. This is definitely a bit more of a boring, I think, pull, but had to be done at some point, and I rarely use my singles, so it's probably good for me to pull this in. So that'll be week number 2. I'm glad that these aren't too massive yet. I feel like I say that and I'm gonna get like the Beauty Bay Jade, which is huge or something, but for now at least that's reasonably, you know, small. They're gonna fit into my makeup drawer. So now for week number 3, we've got 1 through 40, and we've generated number 28, which is gonna be, oh, my Sigma Ambiance palette. That's exciting. So that is this palette here. I haven't actually used this tons and tons, but it is a really gorgeous neutral palette. I think it's absolutely stunning. It's just got some lovely warm browns and goldy shades. I'm really excited to play with this actually. I think it's stunning. This is just what it looks like. And yeah, that'll be really fun. So that's for week number 3. Okay, so now for the last week of January, we've got numbers 1 through 39. And we've generated number 18. Which one is that? Oh, okay, that's interesting. That is going to be my NARS Afterglow palette. So this one I had actually mentioned in my ranking video, I believe, that I was excited to use this in my 1 week 1 palette because I haven't had an amazing chance to use this yet. It's not one of my most used palettes. This shade here was in my Pan Those Eyeshadows for a while, so I've got a little bit of usage in there, but not a lot. I really want to see how these perform with the glitter glue. I think they'd be really pretty, and it's just a really pretty small concise palette, so I'm excited to pull that one in, so that'll be really fun. So yeah, these are going to be my palettes for the first 4 weeks of 2021. So for week 1, we've got the Beauty Bay Sunset Horizons. Week 2, we've got my singles. Week 3, we've got the Sigma Ambiance palette. And then in week 4, we've got the NARS Afterglow palette. So that is super exciting. I'm going to be showing progress pictures of my use on the palettes and obviously recording how much I use them. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I really hope you guys are too. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like down below. Hit subscribe, turn the bell on a little collab, and make sure you turn on all notifications. Then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch any of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!